the NCAA tournament for the 4th year in a row as well.
Yeah, playing with a lot of confidence as the Utes, as well as the Kansas State team.
Tip is up, here we go. There are the officials, Mai Forsberg, as well as Tiara Cruz and Kelly Broomfield. Underway, this top 25 matchup. Establish inside and see if you can get some outside going. I mean, you think about K-State and the size and the length of this entire team, Angela. There's length for Utah, though, as well. As you see the starters there. New change for the first time this year as Maddie Wilkie gets the start instead of Kennedy McQueen. She's out with that ankle injury.
Well, the depth for Utah, they're able to score at all different positions. And you see Jenna Johnson right there attacking Lee off the dribble.
Can the quickness and the length of the guards be enough problem against this team right here? They're run at the top by number 4, Serena Sundell. She is an impressive player, and there's a new addition, Walker, from a season ago. There's Lee.
Inside early and often. Lee is one-on-one on the low block, and that's a beautiful turnaround over the right shoulder. That is not an easy shot to make.
No, it is not. Neepkins up high, too much on it. Wow, Torrey had her hands above everybody, but now into the hands of K-State.
Nice box out by Kansas State on that play, which they're going to have to do all game long.
They come in 15-1, 3-0 in conference play. The Utes also 3-0, but 2 losses, 12-2 overall. Baseline cut off for Sundell, and she finds Walker. The transfer from Louisville a season ago, and the lefty layup is good.
You saw that Walker was the beneficiary of the floor spacing. You have to get out to guard the perimeter shooters for Kansas State, and that opens the lane up for perimeter penetration.
Both of these teams realize they're capable of shooting the 3. I mean, K-State averages 8 a game, 10.5 a game for Utah, as Jenna Johnson's won't drop. But if you don't utilize some other players, and especially that interior, it makes it difficult.
The most efficient 3s are be able to get the ball inside first and go inside out to get wide open 3s.
Oh, wow. Got her legs under that. That's Poindexter, and you talked about her. She has started every game. She's one of the best shooting behind the arc.
Yeah, Poindexter is able to score, and then defensively, you see how active and aggressive Kansas State is in the passing lanes.
3 straight defensive stops. That's a big focus for the Wildcats. That's something that Coach Mitty has put out there to this team. He started it last year, and this team's continued it on, and it turns into a score.
Again, right now, Maya Torrey is one-on-one on the low block with Ayoka Lee. Kansas State is going into her. She's got great footwork, and if you don't bring a double over, she's going to be able to score with a simple drop step or turnaround jumper.
9-0 run for K-State. These teams undefeated. TCU also undefeated. Good movement without the ball. Vieta with the layup.
And you love how Utah is able to share the ball. A nice penetration by Jenna Johnson. She kept her head up, and an excellent cut to the rim by Ines Vieta.
Both coaches talked with us today at shoot around. They have so much, awareness of the other team and their ability and what they're able to do. As you see Poindexter again, you don't want to see her get the hot hand this early.
You don't, but the key to that play was Kansas State did a nice job getting the ball into Lee. The double team actually came over. It was a little bit late coming over, and that was Jenna Johnson's player in Poindexter hitting that open 3. So if you come over, you're going to double quickly to make it a difficult pass out. If you don't, they're going to get open looks.
Tamara Poindexter, one of just 2 transfers. Jeff Mitty going to the transfer portal to fill a couple of spots, but for the most part, this team, 4 starters back from a season ago, and quick passing leads to another 3 ball. Jalen Glenn getting into the action, and the balanced attack by this K-State team gives them this double-digit lead. Timeout called by the Utes with 6:31 remaining, and a 15-2 run by the Cats. They've got the hot hands here early. Inside to outside, working it around. The 3 ball is falling. They're perfect. 3 for 3.
A little to the left, please. Thank you. A little more.
Oh, I'm okay.
Get your money working, and for a limited time, get 0% interest for 6 months when you open a new Visa credit card at America First.
The next year, and right now, the story is Utah. It created some history as well.
12 regular season co-champ with Stanford.
The Utes beat the highest ranked opponent they've ever
Alyssa Healy, University of Utah.
Giving Gavin Peterson his first win as a brand new head coach.
If teamwork is part of you, if passion is part of you, if dedication is part of you, if compassion is part of you, if purpose is part of you, if caring is part of you, be part of University of Utah Health.
The University of Utah lives in a thriving college city called Salt Lake. A very short train ride puts you in the heart of downtown, where you can dine, shop, and play. Go the other direction, and you're in the mountains, biking, hiking, or skiing. Only Utah lets you heed the call of a vibrant city or the beauty of the mountains.
Back in Salt Lake City, a 15-2 run by the Cats, Angela, and they are showing everybody why they are tops of the nation in assists per game as well.
Yeah, right now, textbook offense from Kansas State. They 5 assists on 6 field goals made, and the ball movement is meticulous. They're getting the ball inside to Ayoka Lee. The double team is now coming over from Utah, and she's doing an excellent job of kicking it out to open shooters who are spotting up and have great spacing on the floor.
They are perfect. They average 8 threes per game. They shoot at 37% out there. And tonight so far, 3 for 3. And you said it, it's looking inside first. And if that's not there, they kick it out. Ayoka Lee is an exceptional passer as well.
Extremely unselfish team. They're leading the nation with 23 assists per game on the season. So again, they're going to pass up a good shot for a great shot.
Maddie Wilkie, first start of the season for her. Thought she got tripped up, and yeah. And hobbling a bit, that's Kennedy Taylor who's checked in, 12 in purple.
Well, and Coach Mitty does a great job of substituting, using their depth at the center position and getting Lee some breaks on the bench and to keep her out of foul trouble.
Yeah, he's got about 10 deep, but he uses everybody and everybody capable of scoring. And now another takeaway. Too many turnovers, and now the Cats give it right back. 3 turns for Utah, and the first of the game for K-State. Boy, hounding defense and getting it taken away there. That's Reese Ross who's checked in.
Swarming defense by Kansas State. As soon as someone catches the ball and picks up their dribble from Utah, Kansas State is doubling them and getting out in passing lanes.
Samantha Crisp also on for the Utes. Again, no Kennedy McQueen. Got injured in their last game at Iowa State. She's going to be out for a little bit. Got the boot on. Uh-oh, and another 3. This one's Glenn. She's got a couple of them now. Jalen Glenn, the senior.
So they're going to have different looks now that Lee is out. Her gravity gives wide open looks, but still right now we see the passing from Kennedy Taylor. You're still on ball presence where she gets the ball in the low block.
Yeah, Coach Mitty talks about the gravity of Ayoka Lee and what she does is that one's tipped by Poindexter.
And you see Kansas State's length on the perimeter. They're able to get deflections and contest shots without fouling.
Yeah, this team averages 73 inches, so 6'1" on average length by this team.
Ziana Walker is the smallest player in the starting lineup at 5'11". That's a lot of length to put on the floor. And the player that you have the ball in their hands most often in Sundell is 6'2".
Yep. They just got a little smaller. Taryn Sibes, number 11, is checked in, but you got to look out. She's their best behind the arc. She's already connected on 43s this year. Shoots at 50%. Ross, swish, much needed bucket for Utah.
And good to see the ball go in the rim for Reese Ross. Did not play particularly well against Iowa State. She's one of those players from Utah that you want to see her get going because she's so effective both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, she needed a turnaround game, that is for certain, as getting her hand on the arm. That was Brooke Walker who's checked into the game.
Well, Walker is one of those freshmen who's going to have elevated minutes with Kennedy McQueen out. Did a nice job on ball, but you don't want to foul a jump shooter. Watch as a great job by Reese Ross trailing in transition. It wasn't a wide open jumper, but she's shooting the ball with a lot of confidence at this point in the season.
Shoots it 42% out behind the arc, and to the line, Serena Sundell, senior out of Maryville, Missouri. 119 assists coming in the season this year. She's had a triple-double this year as well. And misses the free throws, though. She's an 80% free thrower, misses them both. If you're Utah, you'd love to get some tempo going. You'd like to maybe utilize a little bit of the elevation here in Salt Lake City. As that one won't go, it's batted around, and K-State almost losing it, but it'll go back to them.
Right, for Utah, you want to get a couple of solid half-court possessions. Kansas State's doing a great job of eliminating those transition looks that Utah is so familiar with. So just hopefully in the half-court, they can start to execute.
Yeah, Utah, they either want the layup or they want a three. Those are their primary focuses on their offense and what they can get.
Nice help side defense. Utah does a great job in their help side. Without Lee on the court, they can come off of shooters a little bit and help on that dribble penetration on the baseline.
Yeah, it's a good rotation. As K-State causing some pressure and causing turnovers now. 5 turns for the Utes. They average about 16 a game. They typically force 20 a game, and right now, only 2 turns for the Wildcats.
Well, if you're Utah, you are not going to be able to close this deficit in one possession. Take your time and chip away by getting good looks in offensive possessions.
But a fairly fast pace. Both of these teams, they'll push at every opportunity. A good look inside. Help D coming down, batted away. And a good look and extra effort by Kennedy Taylor, but they can't get the putback. And then a foul call as she was hanging around, not waiting on it. Reese Ross isn't going to have any of that.
She was not going to have any of that. And you saw right there, Kansas State trying to take advantage of the size mismatch between Sundell and Vieta on her. It was a nice kick in on the low block, but help side came over, and then Reese Ross just was the more physical player in trying to get that loose ball.
First foul on Taylor, second team foul on K-State as Lee's going to come back in and maybe got a piece of that Neepkin's drive.
Well, the length is bothering Utah's guards as they're penetrating right now.
Yeah, I mean, Neepkins has good length. She's over 6 feet, but you're going against Lee, and then an offensive foul call. That's good help from Jenna Johnson for Utah. Lee going to get whistled with that one.
Yeah, Ayoka Lee, she had great position. Johnson was going over the top. Watch as Johnson's fighting to try to get over the top. Lee just got that loose chicken wing a little bit on that, and that's one of the things that the Kansas State coaching staff is concerned with. Lee has to stay on the floor without fouling.
Coming into this one, needed just 4 points to move into the top 100 all-time in NCAA Division I scoring. She comes in with 2,436 career points. She's 5th in the nation in scoring, averaging 17 a game. She's just an incredible athlete. As that one won't go, Ross with another chance. Johnson squares it up, way off. It's out of play. It's going to go the other way.
Utah's getting second chance opportunities. 4 of the 5 players are crashing the boards, trying to get second chance opportunities. And again, just be patient. The best way to get open threes is off of offensive rebounds. Kansas State is doing a great job of navigating those ball screens. Whether they go behind or over the top, they're quickly getting back to shooters and closing that open space that they may have.
And their defensive pressure forces Utah to rush a little bit, maybe more than they normally would. 1 of 7 now for Utah behind the arc, a team averaging 10.5 threes per game and shooting it 39% and rushing a bit, I think, too. And that's just good D by the Wildcats.
Great defense is exactly what it is. And their length allows them to lay off a little bit to still be able to defend and to deny passes.
Yeah, good point. Touré's back on for the Utes. Ball fake one way, help D over. She gets sandwiched, batted around.
Great
Excellent
help side by Tamira Pondexter on that play.
She was. And then getting back, Touré doesn't hang her head. She's back for the defense at the other end with 2 minutes left here in this first quarter.
I like the tempo and the pace thus far by both teams. This is such a fun game to watch in the top 25 matchup.
Boy, it sure is. And these teams will remain undefeated in conference play Torrey trying to get the pivot fit to stay down and trying to get the reverse, and it'll go the other direction. Oh, I see Gappy up. They have a stuffed goat that they, not a real goat, but you know, the toy goat. But big goal, 3 straight defensive stops, and you'll see Gappy held up. It was something they started last year with their senior on this team, Gabby Gregory. And they named it Gappy, but it's called gaps because of these gaps of opportunities where they have been able to stop the opponent 3 times in a row.
Yeah, right now Utah is over their last 6 field goal attempts, and that is because of this excellent defense that the Kansas State Wildcats are playing.
Shot clock to 5. Ross picking up Walker, likes to go left, another lefty layup, good. Ziana Walker with the bucket.
Well, that's one of those things that you look at the scouting report. Walker loves to attack the paint off the left. She does a nice little floater. She's such a great athlete and explosive to the rim.
Balanced attack. Torrey has 3-point range, and there's Vieta with a hustle play.
The smallest player on the floor, but again, Vieta is so active on the boards.
Exceptional rebounding guard. Neepkins using the screen. Shot won't go. Good box out by K-State.
And Utah's getting good looks. They're just not making them right now. Continue to run their offense and don't get frustrated.
Under a minute left in this first quarter. Torrey may have gotten a little piece of that one and pushed Lee out a bit on the baseline. That's what you've got to do if you're going to try to slow her down. There's probably not going to stop her. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, the good physicality by Torrey and her length forced Lee to take a kind of a fadeaway jumper. That's not her forte.
About a 6-second differential. Shot clock, game clock. This first quarter's winding down. Torrey gets it back up top, a little quick, a little off balance. It'll go the other direction. So 1 of 9 behind the arc for the Utes.
Yeah, shooting 20% from the floor right now, 3 for 15. You can tell Utah is forcing it a little bit. They're taking looks that they don't normally take out of their offense. And we've talked since Coach Lynn Roberts was leading the charge for Utah. They typically try to get really efficient shots, and they're not doing that right now in this particular game. A little full court pressure by Utah.
Trying to slow down the Wildcats. Wildcats would love to extend the lead before this quarter ends, and that one just short by Sundell, and that will do it. A 20-5 run for K-State, Angela, to finish this first quarter.
Yeah, excellent offensively that Utah loves to play.
We'll see if K-State can keep the momentum going, that 20-7 first quarter as Utah works it in, blocked from behind. Torrey, another chance. Can't get it. It's swatted out. It's going to stay with the Utes. That's Imani Lester, who's checked in for the first time, 32 in purple.
Really nice offensive possession by Utah. They were able to use that aggressive defense from Kansas State against them, getting Torrey one-on-one on a little block. She just didn't convert an easy layup.
Yeah, that was Sundell from behind. Her length at 6'2", and she runs the point most of the time.
At the guard position, that's
incredible.
unbelievable.
Utes work it around. That's Grace Foster, the freshman. Jenna Johnson trying to get the layup. Can't get it. This length has been a problem.
It's one of the reasons that Kansas State is a great defensive team, is because they protect the paint with their length at all positions.
You said it, though, too. They don't commit a lot of fouls. You know, they're a very efficient team, but taking some contact and the finish. Serena Sundell.
That easily could have been a 3-point play. Great paint attack by Sundell. Took the contact and finished.
One of 4 players with over 1,000 career points as Maddie Wilkie, the hesitation, reads the D right there.
Nice job probing the paint by Maddie Wilkie. Excellent hesitation, got the defense up off their feet and out of their stand and opened it up for her at the rim.
Boy, much needed. It had been almost 6 minutes going back into the first quarter since Utah had scored.
And this is the side of the floor that Utah's going to get back in the game. Defensively, they have to get stops and try to deny the easy, efficient looks that Kansas State has been getting.
Yeah, not going to make it up all at once if you are Gavin Peterson's team. Going to have to chip away at this deficit. And they're capable of doing it, but
it's not easy against a balanced Kansas State roster that has both interior scoring and perimeter shooting.
Well, they really do. It's so impressive. Jeff Minnie talked about it. He said, you know, we're a healthy 10-player rotation, and, you know, he said you just want to keep that. You want to keep that balanced attack, that inside-outside game, but consistency is what they really strive for.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun watching this Kansas State perimeter players defend guard play.
Neepkins on the interior, a little off balance. Big board from Lester. Sundell trying to get a little bit closer and does, just backing her way in against Jenna Johnson.
Size matters, and Sundell again is able to shoot over most of the players on this Utah squad, probing the paint, getting a nice baseline positioning.
Lester thought she had the poke away, and instead it's a personal on her. Her first, team's first this quarter.
We haven't seen a lot of that, of Kansas State being out of position when they're trying to get in the passing lanes and get steals or deflections.
Jeff Mitty up, boy, he's talking the D. Again, he talked to us about the defense for his team and what he wants to see.
Well, these defenders, they're able to defend the three-point shot, get out on dribble penetration without getting beat around the corner. It's really impressive.
He said they've been a little reactive, too reactive at times. He wants to see them dictate as Ross on the drive down the lane can't finish. Good look, right idea.
And that's where Utah wants to get scoring opportunities, is cuts to the paint, particularly with this perimeter pressure that Kansas State's putting on their players.
The pace really at both ends so favors K-State. A beautiful ball handling and finish from Walker.
Zion Walker is a nice complete player, really unselfish, is the second on the team in assists, 5 assists a game, but also has the ability to get her own shot from the mid-range or at the rim.
Walker, a player that Coach Mitty says lives in the gym. He's seen so much growth from her game in just a season. Played every game last year, but came off the bench this year. She's become a starter for this team.
Walker's playing with a lot of poise and polish right now.
And there's more D, almost a turnover. Utah able to get it back.
You can be really aggressive on these on-ball screens by Utah, getting in passing lanes. It feels like there's 6 or 7 players on the court for Kansas State right now. For Utah, if you're not able to get on-ball screens and get open, you're not able to pass the ball, reverse it, cuts are contested. It's a really great defensive effort.
Sure is. Good anticipation by Sundell on that one. She read that pass from Deepkins, or excuse me, from Jenna Johnson. And Vieta on the drive, not able to finish, and she'll go the other direction.
You've seen that result a few times by Utah. They get to the rim, and it looks like they have an open layup, but they're rushing it a little bit, anticipating that the size and length from the shot blockers from Kansas State will come over and affect the shot.
I feel like the way K-State plays, I'm rushing a bit. I'm like, they really get the adrenaline going, and they make you do some things that you maybe wouldn't normally do.
That's a really good point.
Baby hook, just short. That's a tough shot to defend. Body bump up top. And the Wildcats not in agreement.
Poindexter, that's her first.
Gotta go on Poindexter. First for her, second on the team. Just tough shooting night for the Utes. 16% on the season shooting, 48% from the floor. I mean, just got to give so much credit to this defense and what they've forced Utah to do and not do. Torrey, aggressive drive and the block, they'll say, on Lee.
Yeah, really good intention by Lee on that particular play, coming over to help side and taking the charge versus trying to block the shot. But there was 2 probes by Utah. Nice job turning the corner by Torrey, and just gets a little bit of a step on Lee, and did a nice job in midair of kind of shifting a little bit to create that contact.
Torrey, an aggressive drive, gets the first free throw and made sure to get some contact. That's the second personal on Lee. That could be a big plus. As you see, both free throws good for Maye Torrey, the grad student from France, over 1,000 career points, the transfer from Rhode Island this year. 2 transfers, 1 of 2, but 24 points for her, 4 of 6 behind the arc in their win at Iowa State. But what she did defensively too, steals, blocks, assist numbers, she's all across the board.
Yeah, Torrey's an all-around player and just needs to be able to do it consistently. If she's able to play consistently well at both ends of the floor in conference play, Utah can compete for a championship.
Oh, the right look and the and one. High screen and drive it in. The finish by Sundell.
Well, we talked about the gravity for Kansas State. Because you have to stay out and guard perimeter shooters, help side, which Utah is great at their help side. They've taken so many charges all season long. They're a step or two too late in this particular rotation against Kansas State because of their spacing.
Sundell, the senior, at 6'2", but the quickness, running the point. She can shoot it off the wing. Coming into this one, 1,464 career points. She led the Big 12 last year with 5.5 assists per game and 189 total assists, and she's leading the way this year as well.
Utah have not scored in the last 3 minutes and 9 seconds. They really need a solid possession right here.
7 points for Sundell. She leads all scorers. Much more balanced attack, which is what they look for, but you're right, they could use one here. And Ross knew it, lost her footing.
Yeah, Maupin did a really good job of moving her feet and cutting Ross off at the baseline, which forced her to take a little bit of extra step when she thought she had an opening.
Eliza Maupin into the game, 21 in purple, 6'3" junior out of Webster Groves, Missouri.
And they keep coming in with more length.
They sure do. Really worked on her growth of her game this season. Played in 29 games last year for the Cats.
Better rotation defensively right there by Utah.
Shot clock down to 5. And they try to go high to low, and a turnover forced. It'll go the other direction.
By one of the better defensive possessions by the Utes. They rotated really well out of the double teams and help side, and were able to deny an easy open 3, as we've seen K-State get all game long.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in the first half. It's been all K-State from the get-go. 20-7 first quarter, and this one a bit closer, 9-4 so far in the second. Torre fakes one way, goes the other. Johnson. They're going to call the over and back. Thought she had position, instead it'll go the other direction. With 4:40 remaining in this second quarter. 29-11, the lead for Jack Mitty's team. What are we looking at? Okay. 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 Good crowd, dang it. They can't seem to get into it yet. What's the graphic? Oh. Largest of the game. .40 remaining in the second quarter. It's been all K-State. They're up 29-11, their largest lead of the game, Angela. And part of the reason, just the numbers, what they are really causing problems in. The shooting has been just hard hard to find if you're Utah tonight.
Yeah, this 18-point Kansas State lead is predicated on their efforts on the defensive end. They are completely taking Utah out of their comfort zone offensively and forcing them into individual one-on-one players, which is not what Utah is good at.
Yeah.
They love to have that team sharing the ball, moving the ball around, getting easy open looks from three or attacking the paint, and Kansas State has forced them to have to figure out ways to go one-on-one and to get their own shots.
Yeah, they have definitely dictated. It's exactly what Jeff Mittie wanted his team. He said, we've got to come in and dictate and disrupt defensively. They haven't done that all season long, but they are sure doing it here tonight, and we'll see if Utah has an answer. And there's good topside D from Toure, but it's batted away. Cats just don't give up on the plays.
They don't, and that length allows them to close gaps quickly.
Poindexter squares it up, around and out. Taylor, offensive rebound, can't get it to go.
Crowd was not happy with that contact on that offensive rebound.
Neepkins using the high screen, sticks it. Much needed bucket, 0 for 5 prior to that make for Utah, and that stops a big drought.
It does, and you saw Tamara Poindexter say my bad on that because she went behind the screen and left a wide open three for Neepkins. You cannot go behind screens on Neepkins.
Yep, and she knew it as soon as it happened. Taryn sides back in for the Cats, gives it up to Sundell. Shot clock down to 4. Vieta loses her footing. And trying to track it down. Vieta right there to push. Utes might have numbers if they can attack. Neepkins finds Johnson, layup good. Back-to-back buckets.
One of the first transition opportunities for Utah. Quick timeout by Coach Mittie because they do not want Utah to get out in transition or to feel like they can. Great job attacking the paint for Neepkins. The defender flew out on her because you have to guard her at the three-point line, and Neepkins was able to attack that off the dribble. Great job right here. You see Poindexter go behind the screen. Neepkins wide open for three and attack the paint with a nice little dump off to Jenna Johnson. Utah is so prolific when they are able to get out in transition.
Yep, it's something that can help maybe fuel the rest of what they want to do. But for K-State, they don't want to see them get on a roll here. They have been so efficient. They have been so consistent at both ends of the floor, and Jeff Mittie wants to talk it over with his veteran team.
Yes, really smart coaching right there. Called a quick 30-second timeout to try to stop this momentum that Utah has, getting some live ball turnovers, getting out in transition, and when they start to get out in transition, the basket gets bigger.
Yep, sure does. Utah picking up full court. No Kennedy McQueen again. And that's a tough loss for the Utes. She averages 11 points, 3 boards, a couple of assists, a steal. I mean, she does a little bit of everything for this team. She's out with the ankle injury.
We'll talk about doing a little bit of everything. Ayoka Lee does a little bit of everything for Kansas State, and she's been out about 2 minutes, and that coincides with about 2.5-minute scoring drought from K-State.
Good point. Picked up her second personal early this quarter. Shot clock violation and a defensive stop for the Utes. Great crowd here tonight, Angela, and now finally Utah able to kind of get them involved.
So much energy in the building. I can barely hear you, partner, on the call right now because there's so much energy right now. If Utah can score right here, that is going to get the crowd up off their seats.
State number 12 in the nation, Utah number 22, and both undefeated in the Big 12, and one of these two is going to stay that way. Toure, ball fake, picks it up, tries to bank it, follows her shot she knew was off. Oh, just can't get that one to go, but she gets fouled and will go to the line.
Right, the 6th offensive rebound by Utah. Toure has done a great job of being persistent on the offensive glass and getting opportunities to go to the free throw line. This is a really nice move and a nice touch. Toure is usually money right there in the mid-range game, but you love the fact that she followed up her miss. Well, right now for K-State, like their drought also coincides with Sundell being on the bench. And those two players who's back in right now, Lee and Sundell, are the catalyst for K-State's offense.
Now that combo is just lightning in a bottle. They are really impressive as Toure gets the free throws. And, you know, this is a K-State team that's one of the best offensive rebounding teams out there as well. Right now, only 2 O boards, although a lot of their shots have been going, but 7 offensive rebounds for the Utes. I mean, This is a K-State team that averages 14 second chance points per game, and so they've yet to get those. That's a plus for the D for Utah.
Yeah, Utah's doing a really nice job. Offensive rebounding is about anticipation and effort, and they're giving both right now.
Sundell, shot clock winding down. Wilkie trying to stay. Wow, pretty finish with the left hand.
That was a great finish with a shot clock winding down. 2 seconds left on the shot clock when Sundell took that shot. Again, another great defensive possession by Utah. They just couldn't finish it up.
Calm, cool, and collected. Serena Sundell. Vieta fakes one way, lefty layup, good the other.
Great foot block by Vieta. That was not an easy shot over the 5'11" Walker, but great finish.
4 points for Vieta. Nobody in double digits yet on either side. You got Sundell with 9 points. We got a minute and a half left this first half. It's been a balanced attack at both ends.
Well, Utah's going to have to try to get their gap up in the Gappy the GOAT to get some stops and get some offensive opportunities.
And Toure with the block. Utah trying to push. Neepkins trying to get a little closer. Has a little bit smaller guard on her and needs some help. Gets it to Johnson, around and won't drop. Good look, though, for the Utes. And
Good
now
look by Utah and a nice box out by Kansas State.
Wildcats want to slow it down a bit as we're under a minute left this first half. They have been impressive. But right now, Utah winning this quarter 13-11 after dominating quarter one 20-7.
Nice switch.
Throwing the switch off Poindexter, and that's a break for Utah because she can light it up out there.
She rushed that shot a little bit.
Yep.
She hasn't seen an open look in a few minutes.
Sure hasn't. Whistle and a foul going to go against Glenn up top, and that is 14 fouls on K-State, and her second, actually 5, so bonus for the Utes. And hey, this year marks the 50th anniversary of the Utah women's basketball program. Coming up at the half, we're going to take a look back in time at some of the early origins of the Utah women's program and some of the pioneers that laid the foundation for what it is today. We're also coming up at half. We'll hear from head coaches Gavin Peterson and Jeff Mitty with their thoughts on the first half, plus stats, highlights, all coming up at halftime from here in Salt Lake City and our top 25 matchup.
Talking about the 50th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Big number 50 for Kansas State just came back in for this last offensive possession.
Yep.
This is a really big free throw for Neepkins. If Utah can cut it down to single digits going into the half, from a psychological standpoint, that would be big.
You're absolutely right on that. Down 18 earlier this quarter, and now cutting it to 9. If you're K-State, you want to push it back up, and now you have Lee back into the game. Glenn guarded by Wilkie. Lefty layup, no good. The rebound from Toure, and long shot, no good for the Utes, but that will do it. But a little momentum shift for the Utah Utes heading in at halftime.
Yeah, that
a lot of respect for each other's programs.
Yeah, Coach Mitty talked about the ball screen navigation. They've done a great job getting over the top of the ball screens or quickly getting through those screens, and they allowed Neepkins to get an open look, and you do not want to see that if you are K-State.
And that is not what you want to see if you are Jeff Mitty starting this quarter. The over and back call is going to give it back to the Utes. So Utah taking some momentum into the halftime on a little run, and now see if they can do something here. Toure can't finish. And again, the presence of Lee makes her adjust, right?
They're getting similar looks that they've gotten all season long as Utah. Just there's a presence there.
And Tamir Poindexter has an answer at the other end. Big 3 ball. We've seen her connect on a few of those now. 3 of 5 behind the arc.
Like Kansas State beating Utah at their own game, being able to get out in transition and create open looks from 3.
Drive from Neepkins is there. They haven't had a lot of wide open looks late behind the arc, so they've been driving it in a bit more.
Well, look for Utah to attack the paint a little bit more. Lee looks a little cautious, so she's not going to be as physical at the point of attack, and so you might be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, she picked up the second personal early in the second quarter and sat for quite some time.
Good double.
But that extra pass, and they go right back into her. Oh, baby hook, and she gets it.
We see Utah chose not to double there on the second pass into the post with Lee. The first time they did a quick double, she had to force it back outside. they're going to have to make some decisions. Do we double and leave wide open shooters, or do we let Lee go one-on-one where she's pretty efficient?
She's got such a good soft touch, both passing and shooting. Oh, Jenna, and there's a perfect example of a layup that should go for Utah, and instead an opportunity for the Wildcats.
And if Utah don't get frustrated, keep executing your offense, they're going to go down at some point.
Sundell thought she got clocked up in the high post. Might have been some contact. They don't blow the whistle. Break for the Utes. Toure brings Lee way out. Wilkie, again, her first start of the season for Utah. Had 13 of them last year for the Utes.
Wilkie just 1 for 4 from the floor, but again, that was a good look for her, and it's going to open up the paint for Utah.
Good weak side rebound, another second chance, and another second chance there. You can't give her that many. That's Poindexter again. And a break again for Utah. They missed both of them. She missed both of them. Toure reads the D, one-on-one. The finish, saw the smaller defender, and able to get it.
Beautiful one-on-one on the low block, Toure. We've talked about her footwork, her hands, and her touch. She's able to fade away over the smaller Sundell on that shot. Look for Utah to continue going inside to Toure to open up the paint.
6 points for Toure. Nobody in double digits yet. Sundell just misses, and Lee, right position as she gets fouled. It'll stay there.
We see when help side comes over for Utah, it's really difficult to box out. Oftentimes you find a smaller perimeter player having to box out. Toure, great footwork, such a beautiful low block move. Not easy going over that right shoulder and a turnaround fade away into the mid-range game. But look for her to start heating up a little bit more. And Samantha Chris, we've talked a lot about Samantha Chris. Yeah. She's been playing really well this season, does a great job boxing out and getting defensive rebounds, then running the floor. Look at her to be able to get some transition opportunities.
Yeah, played just under 2 minutes in the first half. We were surprised to not see her a bit more. They bring her in here early in this third. Cats working it around Lee again. Weak side board right there in the right place.
And right there, Kansas State, again, they're doing a great job of moving the ball. Kicked it inside, Lee kicked it outside for this perimeter play. Open jumper, you try to box out, almost impossible to box out Lee when she gets inside position. You cannot move her off the low block.
Grad student out of Byron, Minnesota. Has her degree in psychology. She also already has her master's, Angela, in couple and family therapy. And now working on another master's as well. It's really something. She's truly a student athlete.
And has clients that she is actually working with. That is really impressive. I wonder how many teammates are getting on the
setting
docket.
up appointments. Yes.
Exactly.
Yep. I wonder what her hourly rate is. That's what you got to figure out, right? How do you pay her?
Hey, it's going up after this.
It sure is. Jenna Johnson gets sandwiched, and Lee says, let's go. Defense, creating another opportunity.
Kansas State doing a nice job on the dribble penetration from Utah, quickly coming over and cutting off the baseline.
A team that finished third last year in the Big 12. They made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament, and they go inside to Lee. She's asking for it. She's got some confidence out there right now.
What a battle on the low block. Lee was calling for the ball from half court. We saw Vieira get out in transition, but that prior possession, Lee was demanding the ball as soon as the ball crossed half court. It's a battle right now between she and Chris.
And again, inside to Lee, double team, somebody's open. Glenn, how about a three for her? That's her third of the game. She's perfect out there, 3 for 3.
Again, Lee is making quick decisions as soon as she gets the ball and sees the double team coming over, which allows her teammates to get open looks before the defense rotates over.
Yeah, how many double teams and triple teams does she see every single game? And now gets a piece of that one as Chris tried the lefty layup.
Continues to affect the floor. Lee doesn't play a lot of minutes, plays about 20 minutes a game, but in those minutes is really effective both offensively and defensively.
Coach talked about the gravity, right? The gravity of what she can do, of sucking in all the defenders, and that leaves others open.
Yeah, and then you have Taryn Sides on the floor, who's shooting 51% from the three-point line, so you can't help off of her. What do you do? It's a conundrum.
Sides gonna get whistled. Maybe it wasn't on her. There was help defense coming over. We're gonna give it to Jalen Glenn instead. Senior out of Kansas City, Missouri. One of 4,000+ career point players on this team. She and her sister Briley, a redshirt season this year, but they are quite the combo, the twins. Imagine if they had her as well. Goodness.
Well, Walker doing a really good job of forcing Neepkins away from the on-ball screen.
Neepkins well outside the arc, and she'll take that one. Second three game for Gianna Neepkins, first Utes and first player in double digits with 10.
She yelled, "Come on," after she hit that three. The three-pointer really gets this Utah squad going.
And now the Cats working it inside. Kennedy Taylor with the bucket. And scratch that, Lee also has 10 for K-State. First points of the game for Taylor. Senior transfer from Missouri State. And Utah off the mark on the pass. It'll be a turnover and go the other way.
Well, if you're Brooke Walker, Kansas State defensively is doing an excellent job, making it really difficult to get open looks. But if you're Gianna Neepkins, you don't need a lot of space. Kansas State up 14, but we got a barn burner here in Salt Lake. Great matchup in the Big 12.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you. Owned by someone in your neighborhood, we offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
I can't express the importance of the donations that we get towards everything in our athletic department.
Every year you see somebody's life change.
It's an incredibly rewarding experience to know that you're supported by people who see the work that you put in.
Being able to have this opportunity and play for such an amazing fan base has been a dream come true.
Yeah, it's just thinking about that gives me a little goosebumps. It's the energy that gives us the extra push.
Hey, grab me one too.
Push it!
Nice.
And this team just keeps pushing.
.29 remaining in the third quarter, and it's a 1-2 punch with this combo, and it's really impressive to see what Lee and Sundell can do together.
Yeah, Lee right now, 10 points, 5 rebounds, a dominant force on that low block, and really unselfish. When she's one-on-one on the low block, makes a great decision to take it to the rim. If she's doubled, she does a great job of finding open shooters, whether it's a hockey assist or at least directly to an assist on a three-point make.
There are their averages on the season, and it's such a well-balanced team overall. I mean, there's this combo here, but it doesn't just stop with these two. I mean, you can go from top to bottom. Everybody gets to play, and everybody contributes.
If you are tilting your defense on one side, Pondexter can hurt you.
Yep.
Jalen Glenn can hurt you. Sundell can hurt you. So they have a lot of different players, and that balanced scoring is difficult to guard. Right now, Utah's coming out in a zone to maybe take away that those paint touches.
See if they can throw off the Cats just a little bit, but in the high post, there's Sundell with an answer. That's how you break it down.
Yeah, against that 2-3 zone, the high post and the short corner are going to be wide open.
Good work getting over that screen by Sundell. She is not letting Neepkins have any open looks out there.
Been really impressed with Kansas State's navigation of those on-ball screens.
Vieta using the screen, can't get it. Reese tries to keep it alive. Instead, it goes the other direction.
If you're Taylor, great rebound, but you got to keep the ball up and not let the defenders get a chance at a steal. Utah changing things up right now, a little tuck-in full court pressure. Let's see if they fall back into that 2-3 zone. Kansas State did a great adjustment in putting Sundell, their leading assist giver, in the middle of that zone.
Cats come in, they've won 10 in a row. Utah, they have won 7 in a row, and both undefeated in the Big 12. Quite a battle in the Big 12 this year with 4 teams in the top 25, and there's a big 3.
Terrence Sides is prolific from the three-point line. Again, shooting 51% from 3. You can't leave her open, and from distance, a little Steph Curry, Sabrina Ionescu-like.
Yep, I think so. Her first attempt on the night, and it's good. 1 for 1 behind the arc, her first points. Toure filling out the D, and just short.
Taylor did a really nice job of pushing Toure off the block and not letting her get an easy 2-foot.
Working it back inside, sticking with it is Taylor, and might have been some contact, but there was definitely after the fact, and that's a tough break for Taylor because I think she felt like she could have had the whistle go the other way.
Yeah, but you gotta like those minutes. Right here, great ball movement by Kansas State. Watch this, Terrence Sides just spaces the floor from her range, opens the floor up, and she shoots the ball with a lot of confidence. And then Taylor did a great job on the offensive glass. You like the minutes from her. She's gonna have some fouls to give.
Just under 3 minutes left in the third. It's been a fast pace. Both teams want to push that tempo, and they certainly have. Johnson trying to get a little closer, cannot get it to go. Good defense. Hounding her was Lester.
Again, another nice job by Lester, moving her feet and keeping Johnson between Lester and the rim.
Lester worked in the offseason on playing harder, more consistently, in playing through fatigue when you have to.
And in the recent game against Texas Tech, because of the foul trouble Lee was experiencing, Lester had to play some minutes.
Yeah.
Did a nice job, particularly defensively.
Foul's going to go against Lester. A little too aggressive down there. That's her third and the team's third as well. Jeff Mitty, 659 career wins for him, 205 at K-State, and he needs just 2 more to move into second place all-time to pass Judy Akers. The all-time leader, Deb Patterson, 18 years for her with 350, as Vieta on the drive gets an and-one opportunity.
Vieta's done a nice job in this game with dribble penetration and finishing underneath the defender's arms in that length. She did so in the first half. Nice job by Vieta right here of attacking the paint, gets a little bit of a step on the defender and finishes with contact. Great concentration on that finish as she goes to the floor.
Stops the 7-0 run and can't get the free throw though.
And Vieta, not known for her offense, had some really big moments offensively for Utah. Hit the big 3 against Iowa State the other night to seal the victory.
Yeah, had 8 points in that one. She's averaging 6 a game and a pretty finish. The drive, Sundell with the bucket.
Sundell had a wide open paint because the defenders were out guarding.
Poindexter goes flying to the floor. Ross, no stop. She just kept going. Sundell with 13. She and Lee, the Cats in double digits. Sundell using the size, help D coming over from Johnson, and it's a perfect read from Sundell. She finds the open player's sides and sticks it.
That was not an easy pass to make. Again, Sundell has a size advantage, so she had her sight lines are not obstructed. A beautiful pass to the opposite corner over her left shoulder. That is not easy to make.
Sure isn't.
That's a pro-level pass right there.
You got that right. Largest lead of the game, up 20. And that one won't go for Ross. She had a good look.
And Sundell doing a nice job of determining whoever is guarding her. If she has a smaller player on her, she's going to take him to the low block and see if she gets that advantage.
Yeah, we've seen her do that a couple times. Like right now, she has Wilkie on her at 5'10", and she's 6'2", but just dishes that one off inside, and the finish from Lester.
Yeah, a little Luka Doncic-like. If you're going to come over with the help side, she's going to pick you apart because she sees the entire floor and is able to make difficult passes.
Clock winding down, 10 seconds to go in this third quarter, and it's been all K-State this quarter for the most part. They have definitely won this one. Back and forth we've gone. Sides had a good look, almost got that one to go, and that'll do it.
Confidence.
Third quarter in the books. Those two facing each other tonight down at BYU.
Great defense by Pondexter.
Right idea, right look. But Ross not able to finish. It's little things like that. If you're gonna upset the number 12 team in the nation, you gotta hit those shots, because Ayoka Lee will.
Yeah, and they're gonna take away the things that you do well, so you're gonna have to counter them, and Utah has not been able to counter this great defensive effort from Kansas State.
Johnson one-on-one with Lee, and has nowhere to go, needs some help, and miscommunication between she and Brooke Walker, and it sends it the other direction. That defense has just been stifling.
And Gappy is on display over there behind the K-State bench. Yep. You know, what Utah loves to do is to be able to get easy scoring opportunities in the paint and layups or wide open threes. And Kansas State has done a great job of taking both of those away. The only thing that is open in the mid-range, and right now Utah is trying to force it to the key.
Yep. 3 defensive stops in a row. That's when Gappy gets to show the horns. And their goal is to have 7 gaps per game. I'm not sure where they are, but we've seen Gappy at least 2-3 times now in this one.
You've seen Gappy, and right now Utah is not able to stop Ayoka Lee on that low block.
That one won't go. Batted around, it's gonna go the other way.
Well, defense is one of those things that, as a coach, really difficult to get your team to commit to. It's not glamorous. You don't get all the things don't show up in the box score, but that is the difference maker between winning championships and not. Yep. And this Kansas State squad, from top to bottom, is committed to it.
Jeff Mitty and his staff, they challenged their team last season, and that's where the whole gaps started, to say, hey, get 3 in a row, and let's make something out of it, right? Let's do something with it, and they've just carried it over to this year, so they take pride in it. And you don't see Sundell miss very many of those.
You don't. She's been a catalyst for this offensive execution for Kansas State.
A pretty fader from Neepkins, fighting up the D.
Well, and that's not what Utah wants to take. They don't want to get into that mid-range. It's not the most efficient shot, but that is what Kansas State is giving them. They're cutting off the key in the paint and the easy layups, and they're not getting a lot of open threes.
Utah, 3 of 17 behind the arc tonight, compared to 8 of 15 for K-State. And the defense swarming on Lee. That was too far of a pass there, so the jump ball, Lee saying, I don't even know how I got my hands on that one.
Well, you can tell Terrence Sides is not too used to putting the ball on the floor and attacking the paint, because Lee was not necessarily open. She was double teamed in the paint. Did a good job of at least getting her hand on the ball.
Jeff Mitty, a 5-time Conference Coach of the Year. He's played against Utah before as a head coach. He was 15 seasons the head coach for TCU, and back in the Mountain West days, played against this Utah organization.
And really built a nice program for TCU.
Oh, sure did. And that one trickles over. Jalen Glenn's been kind of a silent assassin, right? She's in double digits now with 11.
And just the balance is so menacing from this Kansas State team.
Yeah, we talked about it at the start. Toure, right place, right time, cleans that up. But there's a balanced attack, team effort, unselfish play, and they've shown it pretty much this entire game.
And you don't see Kansas State forcing shots too often. They're typically taking shots on balance and somewhat open.
Lynn, as Niepke and Vieta with the switch. Walker and Sundell, movement without the ball, and Walker found her.
Beautiful pass off the dribble and getting the open Sundell. Great movement, great backdoor cut off the pick and roll.
Foul gonna go against the Cats.
Well, it's nice having two floor generals in Walker and Sundell that have the ability to pass the ball. Great job right here, kicking it about up to Walker. Off the dribble, really nice pass to Sundell. Super unselfish team, already 19 assists on 27 field goals made.
They love the extra pass. Unselfish play. So do the Utes. They were forced into a little bit, as you said earlier, one-on-one play, and it's not typical of this Utah team. So their assist number not quite where they would typically want it to be, which is 6 of them tonight.
Now Kansas State can just take their time offensively and little time off of the shot clock.
Just working it around, help D, and the recovery not down. And it's recognition of where the open player is, and K-State does it so well.
They do. Lester had an open look. She could have easily taken that shot herself, but was really unselfish, getting the assist on that pass and dump off to Poindexter.
Ross gonna get whistled with the personal. It's gonna be the team's first, and second on Reese. Grace Foster, one of 3 freshmen for the Utes, will check back in. And with no McQueen, first game without her. They have had her in the starting lineup every single game this year. It's going to take a little time. They just lost her after the last game at Iowa State. This schedule, though, it is pretty much every couple of days you've got a game. There's not a lot of consistency, but Gavin Peterson said, you know what, everybody's going through it.
And it's giving somebody a chance with McQueen out for whatever period of time, somebody else a chance to get minutes to step up, because you're going to need that quality depth as you get deeper and deeper into the conference play and into the tournament.
Yeah, they certainly will. Maddie Wilkie right there. She got the start tonight. There's Gappy again. Yep. If Gappy gets 7 gaps, he gets a gold chain with a 7 on it. So
Gappy might be getting a chain today.
He might get some bling at the end of this one. We'll see.
Well, see Walker's versatility right there, her ability to attack the paint. She averages 5 assists a game, and today she's been dishing and she's been taking her own shot, whether it's mid-range floaters or driving to the hoop.
I've been told, Andrew, our statistician, 5 gaps right now. He's got 2 more to go if he's going to get some bling after this one. Utes fans obviously hoping that he doesn't get it, but he gets a gold chain. You know what? Sometimes you have to have just little incentives for your team to want to play some defense, right?
Exactly. I think a little bling will do it. A lot of bling on display by the Kansas State Wildcats right now, up 30 here in this top 25 matchup. Yeah, let's see that. In the third quarter. Maybe we can get into the lead during the course of the game.
Sundell, is that what we're doing? Okay. Okay. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Her. You could go. Yeah,
I mean, she was on the floor for 30 minutes versus 16. So
yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. I know. I know. It's really something. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, Glenn was great today. Poindexter was great today. Serena Sundell has lived up to everything we just said about her. She reads the game so well, Angela.
Yeah, dominant guard play is so crucial, particularly when you're on the road. And Sundell has been so poised and consistent from the beginning of the game. She has completely taken over the flow offensively. She's getting her own shot in the mid-range game, driving to the hoop. And what I love is when she has the ball in the low block, she's reading that double team and making some really difficult passes that you don't see a lot of college players able to make. Like you see pro players making these passes over the shoulder, cross court, in the corner. Really beautiful job of leading this team for Sundell.
Working on her master's in business administration. She already got her degree in organizational management. As Ross to the line, free throws good. I'm impressed too, Sundell. She went and interviewed someone from every single department in the athletic department to see what are some of the options, as the takeaway there by Ross, trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life, as Ross says, all right, I'm going to get it done in a variety of different ways here.
Yes, it's nice to have options, that you're talented enough to not just have one lane and career path to pursue.
7 points for Ross. But yeah, Sundell with the ball right now, and it took the initiative to say, you know what, I saw the things I liked, maybe didn't want to do, and she gets it blocked from behind. Good help, D coming over.
Well, you love that Utah continues to play aggressively at both ends of the floor. You're building on good habits. You may be down double digits, but you're building for the next game.
Okay, there's Crisp. Willing that one over the rim.
Yeah, good finish. Utah has not been able to finish at the rim all day long. They have not had the shooter's roll, but Chris was able to get that done.
Yeah, a lot of layups that have not gone, and a lot of it's because of the length and the defensive help by the Wildcats. Wilkie trying to draw the charge, doesn't get it. The skip all the way out. Sanchez, the shot no good. The junior in a transfer a couple seasons ago, had a broken hand earlier. She's had it bandaged up, but it doesn't look like she's got much left on it. Just a little bit of tape now.
Right, they're battling Reese Ross. We appreciate how physically aggressive Reese Ross is. An excellent athlete. Right here, Ross, great on the ball. She's one of those athletes that continues to bring the effort on the offensive glass, the defensive glass, defensively, getting out in passing lanes.
Just under 3 minutes remaining. Kansas State, again, they'll head to BYU, and for the Utes, they'll await Houston for Saturday. We got that one for you, 1:30. And Walker's D coming over. The crowd wanted a kick, they don't get it.
Yeah, Utah runs a lot of on-ball action with these ball screens, and Kansas State has done a great job this entire game of defending that. Walker has been the point of attack in many of those instances.
Good spacing by K-State. Oh, fake one way, back cut the other. The defense reading it, but Sundell said, what about the body bump? And there's the whistle. It'll go against the Cats.
She was maybe Sundell testing the officials to see if the body check is being called today or not. She found out that yes, indeed it is. Great way to get her some a substitute.
Yep.
and get some time on the pine.
As much as she's been out there and been involved, just her first personal. Team's fourth with 2 minutes left. Utah on a 6-0 run and can't add to it there. And Ross hanging on, but the over the back is trying for the jump ball, and she and Lester having a conversation.
Yeah, Ross isn't going to take much from anybody.
No.
And she demonstrated that early on in the game when she was fighting for a loose ball. You got to love that, and you need an enforcer on every roster, and it feels like Reese Ross is that enforcer for the Utes.
I don't think Lester will either, though. I think she'll stand her ground as well. So just under 2 minutes left. Looks like K-State's going to get their 16th win on the season. It'll be the second year in a row that they have started out 16-1. They are 4-0 in Big 12 play. They were picked to win it this year, but the competition has Ross slow to get up.
Yeah, winning 11 straight is this Kansas State team. Their last loss and only loss in the season was to a really well-coached, solid Duke squad.
Yep. Close one there. 73-62 loss to Duke, their only loss on the season. And for Utah, losses at Northwestern and against Mississippi State in the Cayman Islands.
Well, these are quality minutes for some reserves with Utah. Grace Foster is a solid freshman, has a high basketball IQ, and is probably going to have to play more minutes with moving out for an indefinite amount of time.
Yep, that one around and won't go for Jalen Glenn. It's going to be fun to see how this K-State team continues to grow and improve as this season goes along as well. And Utah, handed some adversity, losing Kennedy McQueen for a little bit, is going to have some growth as well as this season's going to continue on. The block from Lester stays with the Utes. 13 on the shot clock. Long shot won't go. Rebound to K-State, and they will bring it across. 3-second differential. And it's a big row, and it is not easy to go out in Big 12 play. This is your only meeting with this team. You don't know much about it. And there's some of the faithful. Yeah, this is a quad one win for Jeff Mittie and his team, and they did it handily. They were in control from the get-go.
Not easy to win on the road in the Big 12 conference play.
He said coming in, you know, Utah is a sound team. They are well coached. They're similar to us. And he said, we better do what we do or it's going to be a tough night. That's going to do it. Big win for Jeff Mittie and the Wildcats. 16-1 overall and 4-0 they remain undefeated.